Hello everyone, welcome back to the Brush by Brandy YouTube channel. We are doing something special. I haven't done one of these in a little while. I keep meaning to, and then it just gets away from me, but I wanted to cover one of Brandy's favorite things tonight, and this is going to be Brandy's favorite things, the mold edition. And that's because I'm going to tell you my favorite silicone molds from Redesign with Prima. I've got a few that I use all the time, some that are my most used. I'm going to tell you why I like each one of these molds, and then I'm going to give you an example of what I've used one of them on. And so I'm looking forward to going through these with you. Some of my most used molds, most recommended. I know it can be hard to decide when you've got to, you know, you can only grab a couple at a time. That's how I built my collection too, was a few at a time, is which ones do you start with? So I'm going to kind of prioritize those with you. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So my top 4 favorite molds from Redesign with Prima is this one here. I would say this is one of my most used molds. This one is called Tulum Keyholes. And I pulled all these out because I have a few different keyhole molds. This is Grandeur Keyholes. These are a couple of older keyhole molds. I love a keyhole mold. I find them to be very versatile because it's something that when you've just got a pretty kind of plain piece or a spot that you're not sure what to do with, a keyhole makes sense on most any piece and it can fill that space. This one I also love though, because even though they're intended to be keyholes, I can pour these in resin and then I can drill this out, and this can be a hardware back. So you can imagine this with a knob placed in the center here, and this could be a hardware back. So I use these all the time for hardware backs. They're absolutely beautiful. They have incredible detail to them. So Tulum Keyholes, I'm going to put that one at the top of my list because it's probably one of my most used and most versatile. It can go on so many different styles of piece, and keyholes always make sense. All right. I am going to put links for all these molds in the description for this video so you can find these too. This next one is one of, it's definitely my favorite floral in the mold, and that is Winter Blooms. Mine's a little beat up, like I probably need to clean it. I'm kind of embarrassed to show you guys this. Usually they have resin stuck on them, and that's because I let the resin dry on the mold, and then you can see here, I can just pick this off. Once it's dry, it doesn't stick to the resin, so I can just pop those off. And so I don't worry about that, but I do need to clean the paint off. Nothing sticks to silicone, so that's something to keep in mind. These are silicone molds, and the only thing that will stick to silicone is silicone. So you want to make sure that you're never filling these with a silicone product like silicone caulking to make your molds with. So Winter Blooms is my second favorite mold. I love this one. I love the style of the flowers. These are magnolias. I have magnolia trees at my house. I chose those because I think the blooms are gorgeous. I love the size of this. I like that it's a nice big bloom and that I can fill in with some of these accessories. I have a piece coming up that I've used this mold on. I love how buildable this mold is. So what I mean by that is it comes in different size blooms, and then I've got pieces I can fill in with like branches and leaves, so I can build this out to any design that I need to really fit the front of my piece. So Winter Blooms definitely falls into, I'm gonna put that as one of my top favorites. So this next one, actually, I just used recently for the first time, and that's because it's kind of a holiday mold. But this mold, one of the ways that I judge a really good mold is how does it take gilding wax and decoration after you actually apply the mold. This mold has detail in it that was so beautiful. And when I painted this and put gilding wax on it, it was absolutely gorgeous. So I chose this one because I love the detail in it, but I could also see this one being another one that I could pop a hole in the center and use this, put a knob in it, and that could be a really pretty hardware back because they're so intricate. So I'm going to add, this is Snowflake Jewels, and that's one of my top molds for sure. So the next one I'm going to add is this one, which is Simple Greenery. And I did a piece in this and it was incredibly popular, but this mold was really cool to work with because it's a kind of a vining mold. And so I was able to cast these, and while it was soft, I was able to vine it all around my piece, and it looked so organic. I loved that I could kind of position the shape of the leaves how I wanted to while the mold was still soft, and it just created this really organic looking, very natural looking growing leaf. So I liked this one because it was very buildable also. It comes in these 2 pieces and they're really good size for furniture. It's got nice detail and I could just vine this and it just turned out beautiful. I was super pleased with the piece and this was a nice mold to work with. It has a great size on it for furniture. So this is a nice big mold. So you don't have to cast too many of them to be able to take up a lot of space on your piece. I always appreciate that. So this one here is an old favorite. This one is called Baroque Swirls, or if you followed my page for a while, Baroque Swirls. That was a joke. I had said this on camera and people swore I was saying Baroque Squirrels. It's Baroque Swirls, but it is a beautiful mold. It actually comes with a right and a left side on this one. And so I like how buildable this is. I like the versatile style of it. It takes the gilding waxes and paint really well. So Baroque Swirls, anyone? Baroque Swirls? I'm going to put this on my list of favorite molds. This one here, Ancient Findings, is just a really unique mold. It's kind of different. I just used this recently on some Christmas ornaments and I loved the very Victorian feel of it. The other thing I've done with this is I cast these and made gold coins that I left for my children that came from a leprechaun at St. Patrick's Day. I left a trail of gold coins for them. So I've had some fun with this mold, making some really cute things. It's very unique. I love this cameo one here. These 2 parts are probably my favorite. I like that it has nice, a variety of sizes I can cast all in one mold, whether I want something small or something a little bit larger. But these 2 were absolutely gorgeous on my Christmas ornaments. So Ancient Findings, a nice unique mold that I think is a really fun one too. That's on my list of favorites. Okay, this one I'm going to put 2 into the same category, and that's because I think these are kind of similar molds. This one's called Botanical Blossoms, and this is the Cherry Blossom mold. And I actually did a piece where I used these both together because they're so similar. I could make them look like just different varieties, but of the same flower. If I had to choose, I probably like the size of the Botanical Blossoms. But again, I love how buildable these are. These are compatible designs. They're really pretty to make a vining floral that kind of climbs up the side of your piece. These tie in with a lot of the different transfers from Redesign with Prima. So these are Botanical Blossoms and Cherry Blossoms. And check out the piece that I did with these. It came out really pretty. Okay, again, I'm going to put these in kind of a similar category together because they're kind of similar, but these 2 are nice large florals. This is Etruscan Rose and In Bloom. And I like these because I really like the size of them. They're great for furniture. I look for those larger designs that kind of take up a lot of real estate. Again, they've got some great detail in it, so I can get the gilding waxes, or if I do some dry brushing and paint over the top, it gets really pretty. So I just really like the size of these. I like how they work together on furniture. If I had to choose one, I'd probably choose Etruscan Rose because it's got those 3 different blooms on there with a nice variety. But those nice big florals, I love florals and they're always really popular for me. All right, these guys here, these are the Portico Scroll molds, and this is just a gorgeous mold. There's 2 here because it comes in a right and a left-hand side. So you can either choose if you just want one that points one direction, but this is a nice pair to have if you have the right and the left-hand side. You can weave them all around your piece. They've got incredible detail on them. This is a beautiful mold when it's cast. I'm going to show you an example that I did use a lot of gilding waxes on them. And it's got so much detail in it that you can put a bunch of different colors on it. It's very elegant looking. Again, that nice size that takes up a lot of the real estate for furniture pieces, which was what I do most of. So the Portico Scroll, this is Portico Scroll 1 and 2. And again, you kind of have to either choose if you want a right or a left hand pointing one, or together they make a great pair. All right, we are getting to the end. My next one that I have to add to my list is Forest Flora. I love this mold. It is super pretty. And so this one, even though it looks like it's all one piece, I can cast just this flower or just this flower, and I am able to form this into that nice vining design. I really appreciate when a mold is kind of buildable. Also, when this is soft, I can point some of these off in a different direction if I want to kind of grow it like a vine. So I like the versatility of this one. I like the detail of this one. Again, it's one that takes gilding waxes really well. Just a really pretty, nice floral design that's really versatile with a bunch of styles. All right, so those are most of my favorite molds, but I'm also going to add a little bonus feature at the end, and that's because I have a new addition to my collection that I'm super excited to have. I've wanted to have these for a while. They did get sold out for a minute, and I was able to find a retailer that had them both in stock. These are actually from the Finnabair, one of the Finnabair collections, and Finnabair is a partner that works with Redesign with Prima and does some designs for them. And these are some of her designs, but this is the grungy frames mold and the Baroque frames mold. Now I haven't used these yet because I literally just got them this week, but I'm super excited. I eyed this frame right here and I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm excited to use this. I think I can put this on furniture. I can use this as a hardware back. It's incredibly elaborate. This would have been really nice for my Christmas ornaments to have this frame. I've seen it used with some of the cameo molds to have sort of a profile of a figure in the center of them. It's just a very, very elegant mold. I'm also thinking I can use some of these corners here for like corners of jewelry boxes, so it looks like hardware, and put some gold gilding wax on there so they look metal. So I'm super excited for that one. And then this one here, just this frame, it's just beautiful. So I wanted these. I haven't had the chance to use them yet, but they were on my wish list and I'm super excited for them. So these have to make my list of favorites and I can't wait to put them on something. So you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful when it comes down to choosing molds. It's never an easy choice. Some of my most used. You guys can check these all out from Redesign with Prima. I'm going to link them up in the description for this video. As always, please click that subscribe button for a weekly tutorial here at Brush by Brandy on YouTube. And you guys have a great weekend.